Welcome to Francesca's Kaiser CFS Advocacy YouTube channel. I have been diagnosed January of this year with CFS, chronic fatigue syndrome immune disorder, or myalgic encephalitis. I can't say the word, it's 5 syllables. It is a virus that attacks your body neurologically. It can arrive off of these different viruses, and it can just destroy your life. My understanding is about 90% of the people who get this illness become disabled. And you don't get often diagnosed with the illness, the right diagnosis, until after you have become disabled. Because doctors, up until a few years ago, really couldn't even put their fingers on it. Now there's very specific blood work tests that you can have run, and when these tests come back and show that you have what are called elevated titers, T-I-T-E-R, like wear your pants a little tighter, elevated titers, it shows that the virus is not latent and that the virus is active. An uneducated doctor, or a doctor who is not current on the current news for this illness, will say that these titers mean nothing when they're elevated. But that's not true. The specialists nationwide and internationally have learned that, for example, if you get the Epstein-Barr virus test done, and there's 3 different types of titers. There's, have you ever been exposed to the virus? Have you had a major inflammation from the virus? And then I think the third one is, are you currently having an inflammation of the virus? My titers came back elevated. I had a fight with my doctor for the couple of primary cares, probably 8 years before they agreed to run that test. The test then came back, I had elevated titers, active elevated titers. At that point in time, we knew that Epstein-Barr was one virus that I had that was contributing to the CFS. I adore my primary care doctor, who is with a national HMO. Unfortunately, the national HMO will not support this illness. They are not interested in diagnosing it. They're not interested in treating it with the proper treatment to help a patient. They'd rather chase after all the symptoms, which puts you in this la-la land of not functioning. I lost the majority of my brain capacity functioning for 5 years. I lost my business, my primary business, being a stockbroker. I could barely take care of myself, take care of my child. And the best that could be done was to be put in psychotherapy with antidepressants. Then after a period of time, the diagnosis changed to, oh, she's had strokes, it's frontal lobe disinhibition syndrome. So then I go through stroke rehab for 2 years. And then my hips are hurting. My hips underneath my butt cheeks, my right elbow. Infection after infection, swollen glands, swollen throat, chest infections, bladder infections, kidney infections. And I decided to get a brain scan done. When I got the brain scan done, the doctor informed me, the specialist outside of my HMO informed me that this was not in the mental illness area, that I didn't have any blood flow patterns that were parallel to people with diagnoses of unipolar, bipolar, schizophrenia, a mood disorder, all these other issues that originally my HMO was trying to kind of put on me. He said, you don't have that. But then he also said, you don't have any residual stroke damage. You've got some cognitive areas of functioning. And I said, well, I'm not lying. I'm not making this up. What could it be? And he told me it was CFS. I didn't know what that meant. So that's where the journey actually started with my illness. He recommended a medication, which was really shooting in the dark. And I went to my HMO, and they said it was non-formulary, too expensive, we're not paying for it. You get on the cheaper one, which only had about a 10% absorption rate, or you can get on the more expensive one, which had a 90% absorption rate. But for this particular illness, you had to have the more expensive drug where it also absorbed at 90%. I saw some relief coming in about 6 weeks after starting the drug, and in the 6 to 8 months that I've been on the drug, I've seen some drastic improvement. Absolutely. I still have issues that I have to deal with, clearly, and I've got to find the limitations and respect the limitations, and I'm not very good at doing that. It's not one of my strengths, but at least now I feel as though I do have a reason to live, and I can't say that in the past 5 years I felt that I had a reason to live, because it was so affecting my mind, my immune system with illnesses, my fatigue, 13 hours a night sleeping, 2 hours in the afternoon napping. Couldn't even get any of my basic tasks done, and I was becoming a mother that wasn't very present. How could I take care of my daughter? Anyway, I have to accept that and forgive myself for it, because, it's not my fault I got sick. It's not my fault that I didn't get diagnosed. It's not my fault that the HMO still refuses to treat the illness. But, so that's kind of a little bit of where I am. What I'm hoping to talk about in the next video for this is I've got a book here called Defeat Chronic Fatigue Syndrome. I bought it on the internet at Amazon, and I want to talk a little bit about this book because it gives you a protocol, an 8-step protocol on trying to get your life under control. And I want to talk a little bit about that with you guys, and whoever I can help, I'd like to help, because there is some hope to have value in your life. Okay, signing off. Bye.